greetings. All that I have as a deliverable unto you, dear viewer, is sincerity, is dogged persistence, sincerity that for the last 4 years of my life, since September 21st of 2021, I have been sharing. And initially I was sharing perhaps a little bit too vehemently, a little bit too impassioned, a little bit too unbalanced. And I had my first channel removed from YouTube. But it wasn't long after that I created another channel, or actually I had another channel that was already existed since 2013 that I resurrected. But anyway, the point is, for 4 years of my life, I've been very persistent in trying to share that there is a reality, to communicate to you, viewer, that there is a reality beyond the five senses, beyond the matrix, and that reality is more real and more fulfilling than anything within this matrix. Certainly, there is much more reward, there is much more engagement to be had with the journey within. However you want to describe that, the mystic journey within, etc., so on and so forth, the path of the magi, whatever sort of your mind resonates with, your right hemisphere brain, your creative brain resonates with. And I'm sharing this message because I am mindful of the terminology, and although there's only a small subset of the viewing population that tunes in here to the Umbanda New Earth Ashram, I do make messages in the hopes of somehow turning on a light bulb, somehow inflaming a green ray center, touching another person's heart with truth, with mat, and helping them escape organized religion and the external savior program. And so over these years, I've certainly experienced, pushback and attempts from fundamentalist Christians and organized religion and those imprisoned still within the external savior program to convince me that I'm a demon and I'm going to hell and all that because of terminology and so on and so forth. And part of that terminology I want to address, because I do have the aspiration, the hopes to hopefully free some people from the external savior program. And that's why I'm taking the pains, taking the time to explain some of the terminology that has been used lately. And specifically, that terminology is the black flame. And I realize, that, a lot of people get turned off by certain things. And this is in no way meant to be a wide path teaching or ministry. This is a narrow gate ministry, an esoteric ministry. And naturally, only a very few will stay upon that path, or resonate with that path, and make it through the narrow gate into the immortal kingdoms of heaven within their own consciousness. That is what ascension is. It's not an ascension. That is a word loaded term to imply of going outside yourself, of going up. An ascension. All of this is within your own heart, mind, soul complex. And therefore, I want to talk about the black flame. And if anyone resonates, has the eyes to see, the ears to hear, perhaps this will be a little bit of an elucidation for anyone who should be curious. And the black flame is the hidden spark of the true source within your being. It is the luminous darkness of the unknowable God, veiled from the counterfeit white light of the demiurge. Now, that's perhaps a lot for a person to unpack, but I'm going to tell you that the counterfeit white light of the demiurge is what you are seeing right now in this revival of Christian nationalism within the United States that will be leveraged to send people to World War III. That is counterfeit white light. That is of the false creator God of this dimension. The unknowable God is the one who sends the black flame, who ignites the black flame of awareness within each seeker. And when awakened, it shields you from deception, empowers you to commune with higher reality, and ignites your soul into its true divine nature. That is what the black flame refers to. Because the black flame is from the unknowable God. And these are Gnostic terms, Gnostic theology, if you will. But there has been a cosmic war that has been taking place ever since the dawn of creation, ever since awareness began to materialize, ever since awareness began to emanate from the source and spread out. But this cosmic war can be poetically understood, and Edgar Cayce has talked about this, and there's many sources for this. It's been happening. Certainly it's what was taking place in Atlantis and led to the ending of that epoch. But the sons of light and the sons of darkness, this eternal polarity, and this, it's not merely political, although we're seeing that play out currently, or it's not even to be understood as earthly, but this is metaphysical. It goes beyond this particular awareness into cosmic multidimensional awareness. But understand that the creator God is who is responsible for this material third dimension existence. And there is an unknowable God, source, the creator here to be understood as the demiurge, the architect of the material world, who claims ownership and defines who is white or black in his inverted system. So I'm telling you, all of the people that have violence in their heart, they're salivating at the jaws for World War III to take place. The troops of Jesus are lining up against the troops of Muhammad. So this is playing out. This is the false white light of people who sincerely believe they are in the right, but yet they have violence in their heart. When you touch the black flame, when you become part of the unknowable God's plan, violence is taken from your heart. Love is put in your heart, and you begin to understand how the white and the black lodges operate. On the surface, the white lodge appears angelic, pure, benevolent. But in this demiurgic system, appearances are inverted. True spiritual liberation is hidden. It's not obvious. And that is why this Umbanda New Earth Ashram is a hidden ministry to some extent. It is shadow banned, I'm sure. It is a narrow path at any rate. And this battlefield upon this narrow path is the world of the demiurge. The war is waged through bodies, minds, souls, cultures, institutions. And by and large, the 501c megachurches that are popular, the wide path, this is the battlefield. This is the false white light. And it is only in these small ministries that the hidden black flame is being revealed to those who seek its warmth, its light. This framework mirrors the ancient Gnostic insight. The realm of appearances is deceptive. Light may be cloaked as darkness, and darkness may be cloaked as light. And the black flame is to be understood in this context, in this cosmology. The black flame is not evil, but the hidden fire of the unknowable God. The light concealed within darkness, so it cannot be stolen, corrupted, or inverted by the demiurge. It is black not because it is malevolent, but because it is veiled, unseeable, secret, hidden from the counterfeit white light of the false creator. It is a counter-inversion. The demiurge's white light is deceptive brilliance. The unknowable God's black flame is authentic but concealed illumination. Thus, the black flame becomes the hidden spark of the true source inside every being. The inner fire of gnosis that cannot be manipulated by external systems. The shield of the magi. The golden energy of Dharma, of your perfected path, because it is invisible to the enemy. When your frequencies are so risen, it thwarts their influence and protects the soul. This is what the ancients saw when they talked of Jesus disappearing into the clouds. He raised his vibration to the point where he was no longer part of the lower dimensional reality. And this is echoed in mystical traditions. In Kabbalah, God's deepest essence, Ein Sof Or, is the dark radiance before light. In Christian theology, God dwells in luminous darkness. In Sufi mysticism, the black light is the unknowable essence of the divine beyond all names. But why has it got to be called black? Concealment, to protect the true light from corruption in a false light world. Mystery, what is beyond human conception appears dark to our perception. Power, darkness is where seeds germinate, where transformation begins, where the void births creation. So the black flame is the first light of the unknowable God, still clothed in mystery before the demiurge's counterfeit light appears. And the sphere of the black flame, surrounding the magi, surrounding those upon the narrow path, this sphere of the black flame is an inner sanctuary of unstealable illumination. It allows communion with higher celestial beings of the true source. It empowers higher learning and manifestation from the infinite sphere, not from the demiurge's false matrix. It acts as a shield. The forces of deception cannot penetrate it because they cannot even perceive it. This is essentially the Gnostic Pentecost, the inner spark ignited into a protective field. Now, this message is for whatever wide path person, wide path Christian happens to come along, but I don't want to alienate these wide path Christians. And I'm trying to emphasize to any Christian audience that sees this message perchance that the black flame is not satanic or antichrist, but the hidden indwelling of Christ himself. In Colossians chapter 1, verse 27, Christ in you, the hope of glory. The black simply refers to the hiddenness of God's glory. Exodus, Moses drew near unto the thick darkness where God was. Christ himself operated from this hidden place, an inner kingdom, not of this world. So this black flame is understood as the secret fire of Christ within you, the true light hidden from the false light of the world, the flame that makes you ungovernable by deception. This black flame is understood as a symbol of spiritual sovereignty and not any rebellion against the unknowable God.